game. It's just wonderful. And I always say, I'm never going to bring myself down to your level. I'm always going to elevate you up to God's level. And that's how I see it. And a lot of women are stunned by that because they don't really understand their significance and their importance. And because most of them are raising the children that are going to directly influence the generation of my grandchildren, it's important for me, and it's my lease, to reach them here, now, where they are right now.
What all type of services does Pennies for Hope offer?
We offer disaster relief of food and nutrition services. We also offer crisis relief of food and nutrition services. We offer disaster relief of clothing. And our clothing closet has the capacity to be able to serve anyone from infant and even maternity to adult men. We offer services as well for individuals that are coming out of an incarcerated situation, Paul, through our Hangers of Hope clothing closet. Many individuals that are released from incarceration, sometimes either because their clothing was used for evidence or because their clothing was, they were arrested without clothing. They come out of an incarcerated situation and they receive paper clothing, much like we would see in a doctor's office. Okay. And because I personally find that unacceptable, we started a clothing initiative for those individuals that are coming out of an incarcerated situation, because that clothing is touched with love. So we feel that even though we may not personally touch you, you have been touched, because the items that we provide and the apparel that we provide is absolutely filled with love. We also offer something through our Shower of Blessings Enrichment program that I'm very delighted about. We got another one coming up on July 7th, and I'm so excited because we've already got 6 mothers registered. Okay. And this is the baby shower program. And what we do is it's essentially a celebration of this woman's life. And so where most individuals that are in a low income or in a marginalized situation don't have provision to be able to, have nice things for their baby when they're born, we step up and we help those mothers out. And so they come to the facility. We go through an intake process with them. We go through an assessment process with them. And then we gather them all together to find out what their immediate resource needs are. And then we just shower them with all sorts of wonderful things at the baby showers. We also provide mentoring support, so that I've got a team of women that work with me, that just love talking to people that are, and I don't use the term at risk, but talking to individuals that, are kind of downtrodden, don't really have a lot of self-esteem. Again, we don't proclaim to be doctors or anything of the sort. We just love people.
Okay, what has been the most gratifying experience you've faced since starting your program?
We could take the whole program talking about just that, but I will say this, from a spiritual perspective. 2 Saturdays ago, we gave a women's empowerment conference. We invited some guests to come from the Center of Hope facility over on Spratt Street. There was a precious, precious young mother who came. She was a little hesitant at first and a little shy, but she came. One of the most gratifying things for me as a initiative and a change agent, if you will, is to see a woman come that really had no desire to be there, but that the speakers, the surroundings, the people that were there with me, surrounded her with so much love that she broke down and gave her life to Christ that day. And for me personally, that is one of the most gratifying and amazing things that could ever happen in the Pennies for Hope Project, especially in that situation, because she thought enough about the people that were there to receive us so that she could receive Christ. What I love about that was that not only did she receive him, but because she was pregnant, that meant that she was doing it for her child as well, the least of these, if you will. And so if you want to talk about gratification, anytime I see somebody that has been touched by the Pennies for Hope project come back months later or years later. I just had a beautiful lady who received a baby shower several months ago. Right. She brought her baby into the office today. She's working. She looked beautiful. She was taking care of herself. She was taking such care of her baby. But the thing that I found the most gratifying is she brought clothes for the next baby shower. So that turnaround, that process of giving back, that's the most gratifying for me, is when I can touch somebody so much that they want to give back. I know.
I see you have a lot of passion for your, where's the passion coming from?
Being alive. Being alive. And taking absolutely nothing for granted. Loving God so much that I've laid my life down for Him. And that's where it comes from. It comes from His passionate love for me, to save me, and then for me to be able to offer my reasonable service back onto Him. It's not rocket science. It's really easy for me.
Looking back to where you were to where you're at right now, would you ever thought that you would be here? So successful as you are, you got your own program, you know, did you ever think that this was possible?
No, because I didn't think I was worthy, because I didn't think I was capable, because I didn't think that anybody would care enough to support. But I'll tell you, today, I don't even think about so much where I am, because if I began to look at my situation, then I would be happy staying here, and I'm not. It's not about where I was, and it's not about where I am. It's about where He's taking me, and that's what I really focus on. What lies ahead? Who's next, Father? What life are you going to bring to me or bring me to? What soul are you looking to win through a word or a testimony? It's really more about where He's taking us than where I was, because I don't ever dwell. I never forget. I always recognize where I was, but that's not a dwelling place for me. And for that matter, today, I know that tomorrow is not promised, but every single day that I open my eyes, I look toward what's next, what's next, what's next. So,
when Janet Butts looks into a mirror, who does she see?
I love that question. Because one of the things about the Pennies for Hope Project and the ministry of the Pennies for Hope Project as it relates to especially women's ministry, and my lease is that when a woman has been touched by God, or when a woman has been touched by me, that she can look at herself in the mirror and see what God sees. So when I look in the mirror today, Paul, I see what God sees, and it's a beautiful thing.
Where do you see Pennies for Hope 5 years from now?
All over Charlotte. I see us growing. I see our programs and services expanding. I see us reaching more, having more so that we can reach more. I tell people all the time, if you come alongside of me, thank you. If you donate, thank you. Because I always feel that with more, you can do more. So with platforms like this, to be able to talk about the organization, hopefully, you know, raise some awareness, even more awareness about the organization. I just feel that it's going to increase some more support so that we can do more. We started out with 1 bag lunch, 1 winter coat, and 1 pair of boots. Today we have a full operating clothing closet, we have a full operating pantry, and we have a full operating baby shower program. So where do I see us going from here? Doing more. Where do I see us 5 years from now? Reaching more, having more leadership development, having more life skills development, doing more to empower a community to leadership success and self-sufficiency.
You know, Janet, with the passion that I see within you, 5 years from now, I see Pennies for Hope all over the country. And that's how my God works.
Don't get me excited. Yes,
You know,
I received that. I received
that's
that.
what it's all about.
Well, that's why we're called the Pennies for Hope Project
Correct.
of Charlotte.
Correct.
Because we're going places. So I received that. Thank you.
You know, if you wanted to say one thing to the community, what would you say?
The one thing that I would say to my precious, precious community is, first and foremost, thank you. Thank you for believing the vision of the Pennies for Hope Project. Thank you for caring enough to support the Pennies for Hope Project. Thank you enough for allowing me to be a part of a growing ministry, a growing leadership developer, a growing community developer. Thank you so much for caring about what we do and about those we serve. If I had anything to say to Charlotte, it would be, let's get started here. Let's move on doing more. Because again, with more, that will open the doors and the opportunity for us to do more. Contact us. Let us know how you can help. No amount is too big. No amount is too small. Time, resources, finances. Thank you, Charlotte, for everything that you've done over the course of the last 3.5 years. And let's just keep on pressing forward.
You know, Janet, I want to say thank you for coming on the show, educating our community on Pennies for Hope. Another blessing for those individuals who are in our community that's in need.
It was my pleasure. It was my pleasure.
You know, this tell us. I mean, it's so. I'm so excited for you and the things that you really have going on. What do your daughters think about you?
Well, sometimes I wonder if it's what my daughters think about this or what I think about them for getting this whole thing started. Mm-hmm. Honestly, they delight in the fact that their mama is doing something positive in the community. They delight in the fact that that light has been shed on the darkness. Mm. They delight in the fact that they're getting the best me they could ever have. And yes, there are two. I have a 26-year-old who's married and living in Raleigh with her husband, and I have my 10-year-old who is at home with me. They think that God is really real, because if he was able to turn my life around, surely he can use me to help others turn their lives around.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Janet Butts, Pennies for Hope Project. Get involved, volunteer, help her make this one of the best things. You be encouraged. Thank you for watching the show.